G'day everyone, and welcome back to Maintenance Break. I'm Pete. Today, we're leaning on the railing with a brew, talking about those problems that just, well, they seem to become part of the furniture.
Too right, Pete. You know the ones, the "it's always been like that" or "we've tried everything" jobs. We're looking at a case study sent in by Adam today, focused on a primary production rail crane. For 15 years, this asset was a total nightmare.
15 years of failed improvement ideas, according to the records. Availability was sitting at a dismal 65%. Now, for a primary production asset in a harsh environment, that's not a maintenance schedule, that's a hostage situation.
Absolutely. If that crane isn't moving, the operation's production output is at risk. Adam's report breaks down the PCR, the performance, the cost, and the risk. And mate, the risk here was that the site had actually started to accept failure as the status quo.
It's the most dangerous mindset in industry. She'll be right, it's just the way it is. But Adam's team changed the status quo. They did the work to find the biggest drivers of the downtime. What they found was that the pneumatic systems were a massive contributor to the poor performance. From here, it was a deep dive RCA.
Interestingly, they found degradation of the oil additive package was occurring well short of the oil change intervals, causing excessive component wear leading to failures. And because this thing works in a pretty nasty, harsh environment, they decided to test the air around the pneumatic systems.
Most fitters would look at you sideways if you said you were testing the air to fix a mechanical power loss. But the results were a massive aha moment.
Spot on. The testing revealed that noxious gases in the environment were migrating into the pneumatic and oil systems. It was actually degrading the oil so fast that the soap package, the additives that actually keep the compressor well lubricated, was being completely depleted within 20% of its oil change interval.
So the oil wasn't just getting dirty, it was chemically worn out before it even hit the halfway mark. No wonder every improvement idea for 15 years hit a brick wall. They were fighting chemistry with mechanics. It's like trying to fix a sunburn with a hammer. Wrong tool for the job, mate.
Exactly. And while they were looking at the chemistry, they also had a hard look at the BOMs, the bills of materials. The team found that over those 15 years, the parts lists on the BOMs had deviated to what was actually required, causing issues and delays when maintenance happened.
Oh, don't tell me. Let me guess. The BOM said one thing, the storeman had another, and the fitter on night shift used whatever he had stashed in his squirrel store just to get the job done.
That's it. They had to do a full reassessment of the BOMs to ensure they actually matched the current asset requirements. You can't have a high-performing machine if your parts list is a work of fiction.
It's about the cost of being underprepared. If you don't know what parts you're meant to be using, you're just inviting delays and failures.
So let's look at the financial side of the Triad. Adam's team recommended that the client design and integrate a gaseous filtration system. Total investment? About $150,000 per crane. Now, to a bean counter, $150,000 for some filters sounds steep.
But you've got to weigh that against the performance upside. Since the install, and combined with the other improvements in BOMs, availability hasn't dropped below 85%. It's sustained. And the kicker? Production increased by 1.5%, because that crane is actually doing its job instead of sitting in the workshop looking sorry for itself.
And for this specific site, that 1.5% represents about $3.2 million in saleable product annually. I'll take a $150,000 spend for a $3.2 million annual return any day of the week, mate. That's the performance and cost working in perfect harmony.
It's a no-brainer. But there's a hidden part of this story in Adam's notes, that I reckon is just as important as the filters: the culture.
You're talking about the workflow execution.
Correct. Adam pointed out that they spent considerable time reviewing work planning and performance culture. They found that supervisors didn't fully appreciate the importance of consuming every part in a service kit that had been reviewed and optimized.
We've both seen it. The squirrel store in the back of the workshop full of spare seals and gaskets that were supposed to be installed during the last PM.
Precisely. Oh, that seal looked all right. I'll save it for a rainy day. But if you're in a harsh environment where the air is literally degrading your oil, you can't skip a single step.
Adam's team formalised a workflow execution verification framework. They trained the supervisors to understand that quality execution isn't optional, it's the baseline. They shifted the mindset from getting it back to work to getting it back to standard.
So they fixed the risk of human error and the risk of chemical failure at the same time. Performance goes up, costs in the long run go down because you aren't replacing compressors every few months. And the ROI is through the roof.
It's a cracker of a result. Sustaining 85% after years of accepting 65, that's a huge win for that team. It proves that there's no such thing as an unfixable asset, just unproven assumptions.
All right, let's wrap this up with the brake tip. Based on Adam's rail crane success, what's the takeaway for the crew listening in today?
If a problem's been around for 10 years, it's probably not a maintenance problem anymore. It's an assumption problem. Someone, somewhere decided that's just how it runs, and nobody challenged it.
100%. Chronic failures usually mean the root cause is sitting outside the component you keep replacing.
So here's the challenge. Pick one asset on your site that everyone says, that's just the way it is, and go question it. Look at the environment, the process, the parts, the way the work's executed.
Because if you've been fixing the same thing for 15 years, chances are you're fixing the symptom, not the cause.
This week, challenge the assumption.
That's your brake tip. Big thanks to Adam for sharing that one with us. Now, before we drop off, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a mate. Also, be sure to check out our growing list of Reliability Toolbox talks, including case studies like this for discussions with your team. They can be found on our website at jebsadvisory.com. That's all from us for today. Take care.
And keep those assets running.